So I'm actually using a onboard journal, which is called Onboard Journal. And this one you can buy today, but there'll be a new one released next month. And check out in the catalog coming up next month, you'll see that we have a lot of options for pre-made journals and albums that you can buy and personalize, which saves a lot of time. So let me just open this up. What I'm going to need with this is a pack of designer series paper as well. And most importantly, I'm going to need this punch, tab punch, so that we can add sections to this journal. The stamp sets that I'm using today are Artistic Etchings, which goes with the paper pack I'm going to use, and Totally Tess, because it has some stamper images in it. And then the paper I'm going to use is Love Letter, no more sold as of June 30th, and I love it. It's beautiful paper. So as you can tell, the paper matches this stamp set, so that's why I'm using this stamp set today. The purpose of this journal, this is going to be my Stampin' Up! Idea journal. To do this, it's really easy. You're going to measure your journal. Now, it said it on the back that it's 5.75 by 8.25, and that size is the size of the covers. So then you'll need to cut for the covers 2 pieces of designer series paper of your choice, but cut them a full inch more than the cover, because we need to wrap around the cover so that we can completely cover it. Some people will attach the paper just like up to there, but I don't like that look. I prefer it being totally covered, and so that's why I need the punch. I'm going to put divider pages in this book, kind of like the journal I did yesterday. So it's going to have sections of pretty paper. And so for that, I need to cut the paper the size of the paper on the inside. These will give us divider pages. Keep all your scraps because we're going to make pockets and tabs with them. And of course, pull out some photos, okay? Is put the paper down on the book simply so that some of it hangs off on all sides. And I'm going to mark where that first square begins. So I'm just going to mark either side right there. Now, I'm going to take that little tiny square so that the first notch matches what I just marked. Alright? And then I'm going to punch down. Okay? And you can see it's perfect. I line up the next tab, the next punch is going to have re-punch the last punch so that I know exactly where to line it up based on the last punch. And then I punch that, and I keep going down. But as I go down, I'm paying close attention not to go too far. I only need 2 more. I want to make sure I'm only punching 2. So I'll line up that last punch with the second hole so that I'm actually going to re-punch the second and the first. And then I'm going to have perfect for my cover. Okay? And then you just slide that in there. Look how easy that is to do. Just push them in. Now you've got your cover on. Okay, so then what you'll notice is you have all this extra hanging out. And I probably would have wanted more here, but a minimum of 1/4 inch is what you want hanging out. Okay, so I've put tape around all 3 edges. I don't need tape here, just on the 3 outside edges. And I'm going to remove that tape. So this is the tacky tape. You can get this in 1/4 inch width from Stampin' Up. These 2 edges off, just so that I don't have a lot of extra paper when I fold these over. Alright, and then I'm just literally, I push down on the side with the holes, and that will get those nice and flat. And then I'll just pull up, very similar to what you've seen me do with the other books. Now what's important when you put your tape down on these is that you put the tape all the way in so that the end of the tape is actually at the end of the chipboard. Right in. And you should have nice, neat corners. The angle I'm working it in right now isn't the best. Now we're going to cover this inside piece, so I'm going to use some black cardstock to cover this. 8 by 5 1/4. And then you punch your holes just like I did with the cover, and it goes in there like that. So it's up to you. You can put adhesive on the side of the holes, but I actually don't. I just push it in and then I turn it over and put tape as close as possible to the holes. It's rare you'll need this much tape, really rare. And then there's a medium I can show you that you can put over the front and the back to waterproof it. Okay, so I've got the tape down. Now I'm only going to do is push it down and it's going to be perfect. So that's your front cover, and you do the back the same way. The key to getting this right is to remember that when you, yeah, it's perfect. Look how nice it looks. The key to this, getting it right, honestly, is simply remembering to use, when you put your paper down, make sure there's extra. I make a square that looks like that hole on the end on my paper, and I use that square mark as my first position for the punch. Okay, so I've got my front and back cover on and they look wonderful. So now I'm going to work on my pages. So already got some done. But they're the same size as the paper. I'm going to go in, say every, I don't know, 20 pages or so. More papers in there. So you just would punch them the same way. It's two-sided, so you have something cool on both sides, because this album is going to double as a photo journal, because we take photos a lot in Stampin' Up. Patterned pages are going to act as my background for some photos. Isn't that great? And you make your own stuff. It's exactly what you want. No more, no less. And that's what I love about the freedom of crafting. Cherry Cobbler, Totally Tess, which has all these really cool stamping things like scissors and a bag and a punch and a rolling. It's really adorable. There's even a Stampin' Up demonstrator. These clear mount stamps let you collage. So now, just to give this a little interest, right, I'm going to first stamp this in a lighter ink. Stamp it again. And then I'm going to stamp this with the Cherry Cobbler because it's right next to the cherry dots. And I've got this little personalized Stampin' Up thingamajiggy, okay? Now, if I want to make this section all about convention, I can mount photos in here. I'm fine with them being on the side, because I actually like turning my book and looking at it from different perspectives. Shrink it down like I taught you in PowerPoint, or you can crop two people out. But this is me with Shelley Gardner, can you see? And my two uplines that are the bomb. At convention, I don't know whose baby this was. Put as much or as little stamps as you want. So let's get this Stampin' Up demonstrator stamped someplace, right? She's holding her hand up, so I can put something, so I get that stamp in a good place. She's holding that stamp. What a great stamper. And I said I was going to use the artistic etchings. I can take that, and let's just put a little border going across here. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Just kind of putting a little border across there. Stamping on your paper is really fun too. Even on the really patterned pages, you can still do some stamping. See there? Just to give it a custom look. Stamp off the edge of the page. Gives a little bit continuity. Okay? Have fun with it. This is the kind of thing that I just totally love to do.